Hey, friends, welcome to another edition of the show. This one's been in the works for a bit and I can't wait. But let me just start right away. I'm going to dive right in. 2 one-day suspensions bumped you 3 tiers on the state's dashboard. I'm going to let you tell us what state that is. But from blue to orange, how does that math actually work?
Oh, it's rough. So, state of California, we have a dashboard system, and we are ranked by the California State Dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And so, small schools like mine can be pretty volatile. I have 235 students and just 2 student suspensions. Each student 1 day bumped my dashboard. And mind you, the previous year I had 0 students. So we're going from 0 to 2.
Telling the whole story here, folks.
Yep. The previous year 0, this last year 2, bumped my dashboard color from blue, which is the best indicator, all the way down to orange, which is the next to the last worst indicator. And for 2 students, suspended 2 days each, for us to go just dropping so significantly like that, and not just that indicator, but a couple other indicators as well. In our chronic absenteeism, we went up. Mind you, we're one of the lower in chronic absenteeism, but it went up 0.5%. We dropped from a blue to a yellow, and that was rough. And this dashboard is shown to parents, right? It's shown to other education agencies. And so I reached out to the CDE to say there must be a miscalculation, right?
What
They
gives? What
said,
gives? Let me break in for a moment. This is Melanie Matta, superintendent, principal of Hope Elementary School District in Porterville, California. And that dashboard fight is exactly, where we're starting here. And you are Scrappy, and I love how you have actually approached this. So sorry for the budge in there, but our people just need to know who is this person?
who is
The
this?
three people out there that might not who you know who you are.
No, so I reached out to the CDE because I'm like, there must be some sort of error, right? And they reached back and said, no, ma'am, this is what it is. And so that began a larger conversation of if I'm experiencing this, other small school districts have to be experiencing this. And this is not telling the story,
Right.
the true story of our school system the way that it should. And so I used my platforms. I serve as AXA, which is Association of California School Administrators. I serve as the president of the Small School Leaders Council, and I also serve on the Small School Districts Association Board of Directors. And so I use that platform then to partner with another agency that works directly with CDE to just say, hey, we've got to start reworking some things because a lot of districts are now being put in what's called differentiated assistance. So technical support, right?
Right.
And really, they don't need the support.
Yeah,
But
it's an errorist flag. I mean, and most superintendents have a cabinet to kind of help. And folks, she is a cabinet. You are the
yeah,
cabinet.
it's
Right?
team of one.
Principal, superintendent, one person, about 250 students. That's
Yeah,
either an unsustainable workload or maybe the last honest org chart left in California. You're making it work for you.
we are. We are. It's not easy, but like I have said to many people, if we're in this just to serve our community, we're probably not really fully in the role, right?
Mhm.
We need to use our voices at a larger scale to really affect change for all students in California.
And you came up as a teacher, and you still got the
Mm,
teacher's heart. You came up as a
Yep,
coach, right?
yep.
You just still love to just see the potential of all things be materialized. And then superintendent, right? I don't know if anybody like ushered you to the door, but you found your way to the superintendent seat. What is coming up that way let you see that career that administrators might skip along that path, not having the coaching background and not spending the years in the trenches, just really appreciating what's happening in the classroom.
Yeah, it allowed me to really see what is not see, but have done it myself, right? What's actually happening in the classrooms.
Mm,
And that's where I think a lot of the disconnect may be happening with our state agencies that make a lot of these laws and regulations, is that while they ask for practitioner voice, they're not actually sitting in the classrooms and doing the work. They're making the laws based on maybe larger districts that they want to regulate a little bit more. But then when those regulations come down to smalls, it really hurts us a lot more. And so being able to have all of those roles, I have that very unique perspective of still that teacher's heart, that wanting to serve,
yeah.
but not having myself fully removed. And being in a small district too, I'm never removed. Like my kids are on campus where I serve every single day. My district office is not located in a separate location. It's right here on the campus. And I interact with kids every single day. And not only do I interact with kids, but I'm able to interact with their parents. And I'm able to be in the classrooms every single day, just being a champion right there for my teachers.
I
And
love
I'm
it.
not one that goes in with a clipboard or a piece of paper. I just go in as a learner.
Yeah.
I just still want to be
I can
that learner
tell.
in
I
the
mean,
classroom.
it just oozes, and I've always said the most fun job I ever had, and my guess is you would agree, is as a principal. It's just a
Yeah.
really fun job. But
Yep.
the most important job I ever had, and you might also agree, is as a superintendent. So when you can couple fun and important together, I talk about impact. Talk
Yeah.
about impact, right?
Huge.
Because it doesn't get stolen away. You still have the opportunity to be a little closer to the action and supporting and loving on those that are really doing the most important work. Love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Love it,
Good
love it.
stuff.
And you're tinkering in the garage as well. You got this thing, this Ed Leadership Lab. Tell us a
Uh-huh.
little bit about that.
So I found that I have a voice and that voice can impact others. And so a couple of years ago, I decided I wanted to make that bigger impact with not only just right here in my county that I serve, but across the state of California. I'm interacting with other leaders all across the state because of the roles that I hold, right, on these state agencies. And I thought, how can I be more effective?
Mm,
I can start a side hustle, right? Like I can start this side business that really allows me that freedom and flexibility to interact with other leaders and to use my skills to coach them up. And I also see that right now, and this is really how it started,
yeah.
I saw the churn of leadership just start happening, right? Post COVID, leaders are leaving the profession left and right, and a new group of leaders are coming in, young, vibrant,
Mhm.
full of life, full of passion, ready to serve, but not yet having the skills to do so in today's post-COVID world. And so I really wanted a platform to assist those leaders to really develop the relationships that are needed, to really develop that skill set that is needed, so that when they entered leadership like I did, like I flopped. I wasn't super relational. I just thought I have to go and improve myself right away because I'm one of the youngest leaders in my county and I have to go and prove myself. No, you have to go in and listen first. You
Mm.
have to go in and build those relationships first before you can be effective with organizational
So
change.
your role as a mentor to other, emerging leaders out there, my guess is that work also improves your skill set in just a
Tenfold.
Tuesday, a Tuesday and a
Tenfold.
Wednesday on
Yep.
campus. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And, I went back to the heart of the teacher. Take me back to your first year in the classroom. Yeah,
Mm.
what what didn't, because you're just open to, "I'm a learner." What didn't that version of you not yet know, that you
Well, I
wish you could have
I
a
knew I was
conversation
good with
today?
kids. I
Yes.
knew I was good with kids, but I didn't know that it wasn't just about loving on them. It was about effective instruction. It
Mm,
was about collaboration with my colleagues so that I could learn how to better serve students. It wasn't just about the cutesy things in the room. It was really about honing my craft so that the instruction that I delivered to kids was spot on, so that I really understood, right? English learners, right? When you serve in the Central Valley in California, the majority of kids that you're serving are English learners, meaning English is not their first language. And so then how do I relate to them? How do I deliver instruction that they're going to understand in a super meaningful way and then get results? And so once I figured that out, I was super effective, and they started promoting me very quickly then to, coach and
Right.
all of the things, because I just wanted to digest learning from others and then share that learning with others.
She's scrappy, she's hungry, she's humble. I tell you what, and you wrote an entire book. I want to just like unpaid advertisement right now. You wrote a book that is called Unwritten. What a there's a bit of a contrast there. About leadership, that leadership handoff, and
Yeah.
again, it just comes from the heart that longs to see emerging leaders be successful right out of the chutes. And uh, sometimes it's stuff that really nobody even prepares you for. So you started
Yes.
writing it down. That
Yes.
gap kept showing up, and finally made you to say, "I'm going to make this thing happen." Take us back to just that original desire and in the process, and just give us a sense of what Unwritten is all about.
Yeah. As I started seeing leadership turnover just on a great scale and new leaders coming in, I also saw these new leaders not really able to make those critical connections with the people that they serve.
Set
And
set
then
the stage here for a minute, Melody. What is the data in California? What is the churn data
it
now in
was
the
like every
superintendent
three
seat?
years.
It is,
It was
okay.
every three
That's pretty
years.
consistent to what we see across the
Correct.
nation as well.
Superintendents were turning over about every 3 years. Now it's just a little bit less.
Your work
But
must be working. Keep your dukes up. Impact. We're talking about
yes,
your impact.
impact. So, what I'm seeing is these new leaders coming in, and they're not able to make those critical connections with the people that they serve. And now you're seeing it play out in social media.
Mm.
You're seeing it play out on the news, right? You're seeing um, board members and community members show up in mass to these board meetings and really just go after the superintendent. And I know from experience, because I lived it, that when you come in and you try to enact change without establishing those critical relationships with the people that you need to establish them with, they're going to turn on you rather quickly.
Yeah.
And so coaching leaders, I thought, let me just write all of this down, right? Like, let me put it in a simple, the book is 88 pages. I mean, it's not
That's
a
a little
long drawn out
monograph
book.
almost.
And
That's about
it
this size.
reads,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And it reads just like I'm talking to you. Very practical, very simple, super easy to read. But it's what it is just a heart book. It's a book
Mm.
about opening up your heart, figuring out your community before you start making changes. Because you and I both know when you come into a school community and you've got, right, those two or three teachers that are older and have seen 20 superintendents before you and have seen that pendulum go from left to right to left to right
Yeah.
again, they could care less about what you have to say when you come in.
They don't give a rat's wrinkled rear end.
Not one. Not one wrinkle. And so I really learned that if you build that relationship with them and get them on your team or get them to see the vision that you're going to build with them, the more they're going to come on board and they're going to get others on board, because those are typically the people that will, sway people from one end to the other. How much momentum you can gain later if you just spent the time earlier. And so that's really what the book is all about,
Mm.
about building those deposits into those relationships, because that something is going to go wrong at some point,
The
right?
fertilizer's gonna hit the fan sometime.
Every time.
Hey, friends, quick question before we get back to it. I know that you have talented people on your leadership team, but is your team actually performing to its full potential? Most aren't, and most don't know why. The Team Intelligence Assessment is a solution to change that. Find out where your team stands at higherperformancegroup.com. Go to find your starting point to get started today, or click the QR code in the screen right here. All right, back to the show.
Every time. And when it does, you can pull from that bank account of
Yes.
deposits that you made in those people, and it's going to have less of an impact when it hits the fan.
So the book Unwritten, I'm sure it's where most books are sold, but if you could direct somebody right now who's listening saying, I got to get my mitts on that immediately, where do they go?
Yes, I wish I had a copy to show you, but I just gave it out. It's called Unwritten, the Leadership Entry Plan No One Gave You Until Now. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Google my name. It should pop right up. Super easy to read. Super easy and
Do you believe in
practical.
that balance stuff? I mean, you're a superintendent, you're a principal, you're a mom, you're a student, you're an author. How?
Mhm.
How?
I don't know. I don't know how I do it all. But if I were to tell you this one thing, it
Mm.
would be the work is going to be there tomorrow. I spent the majority of my career not only at work from 6:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. or beyond, but I really didn't balance being a good mom. I didn't balance being a good wife. I didn't balance being a good daughter. But what I know now is that the work will be there tomorrow. And guess what? If you die tomorrow, the school district is going to move on without you, right?
That's a hard
Everything.
truth, isn't it? You just put some hard truth on the table. I was encouraged to hear you as a learner stepping back and go, yeah, I just I was underdeveloped in how I understood all of that. It's a life principle.
Yeah,
The district's not going to love you. Once you
right.
decide to be done, the district doesn't love you as much as you love it. So that doesn't take away any of our purpose. I think it just gives
No,
you the right mindset to go, my purpose is also within this inner circle of me, my family, my community. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Interesting.
go home every day now and I relax and I turn work as much as I can off. And I enjoy myself. I enjoy my family. My kids are grown and flown.
So how
So
does
they're all
Melanie
enjoying.
recharge? How do you recharge?
I love to golf now. So my husband is an avid golfer.
Or
He golfs like 3 or 4 days a week. And I got tired of riding in the cart. And so I finally said, I'm going to pick up a set of clubs. And I started playing, and my friends play, and he plays. And so, yeah, we just kind of go all over and play golf. But I also recharge by just watching trash TV, by um, exploring TikTok. Did you know
here
that
we
there are
go.
so many things to learn on TikTok? It's not just about the day's garbage and recap of all the junk that happened today, but I learned so much about gardening on TikTok. I
You've just
learned so,
given leaders permission to, kind of sneak away every once in a while and do
yes,
their own professional development.
yes.
I've
And
got
you know
one more
what?
thing. One more. Go ahead. You finish that thought, and then I've got one more thing before we draw to a close here.
Let me tell you something about TikTok. My students and my school community love to make TikToks. And so you know what we do now? We make TikToks.
Well, because that's a value. That's a value of
Yes.
theirs. So it's you got to fit them, not they fit you. I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Love it.
that. Okay, so the data piece, and I know that you're just you've got a resolute commitment to let's make sure that we understand what the data is really telling us, and you also have that same level of fervor to the student voice,
Mhm.
and yeah, you're the person we've talked before. You're the person that has figured out how to effectively bring that student voice into the data to make it more holistic. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that approach, what you've done on purpose across your district, and what that's telling you.
Yeah. It started about 8 years ago. Oh, it started a little more than 8 years ago in a previous district, but I had the drive to find out more information. I didn't just want black and white what it says on the paper, but I wanted more information. When I started here 8 years ago, we didn't really have data. We had CASP data, right? That just kind of painted a generalized picture of a student, but not really anything further. And my teachers weren't keeping data. And so I thought, okay, let's just keep this data on a spreadsheet. And every time they give an assessment, let's just keep it on a spreadsheet. And hey, just so you know, like no data is bad data. And I'm not going to punish you for data because that's ridiculous. We don't punish people for bad data. But we're going to make this public to each other, right? Everybody can see each other's data because the only way we can get better is if we're transparent about it and we ask questions to get better.
Right.
But you're never going to be punished for bad data. I just want you to be clear. You're never going to be punished for it.
I love how you
So,
remove the fear factor from that. So you're not the domineering leader that's going to say, look what this tells all of us.
yep,
Yep.
yep,
And now be creative. What? What? No, I'm
yep,
not going to be creative. You just scared the boots off of me.
right. So fast forward, once they get comfortable with sharing their data and owning their data, they're like, okay, how do we turn this around and share it with kids? Okay, so we started sharing our data with kids. And once you start sharing data with kids and really being open and honest with them about where they are and setting goals around, look, I don't need you to go from red to green. I do just need you to get 1% better today than you were yesterday. It's not about being the best in the class. It's
Mm-mm.
being a better version of you
Right, right, right.
today than you were yesterday. And so it doesn't matter if you're red today and red at the end of the year. Were you low red to high red? We're going to celebrate that, right? Because that's progress. And so after we started sharing it with kids, the kids started just sharing it with each other. And now conversations were happening in the classroom about how they can then collectively get better. How can then we raise our achievement as a class? Who's the lowest performer in the class? Now, as a student, I'm going to pair up with you so that I can help you. And again, in from administrator to teacher, then from teacher to student, it had to be free of the chains, right?
Yes, the
That were
judgment.
almost the judgment chains,
Judgment.
the
Yeah.
punishment.
Mm.
So
So that's the
now,
culture that you're building. I mean, I just
correct,
want to point to the fact that what you're building is a results-based culture that is free from fear.
correct.
And that is possible, folks. It is possible. You might have the state just kind of like aiming down your email chain saying, "Okay, here's what we see." But if you can build that on the inside, you live in a state that is very I don't know, they've got a different mindset as it relates to data. But you are able to create a subculture within your own little district there to
Yeah.
say,
And so
"We're
we
going to
went
do it
from
our way." Yeah.
yes, we went from one of the lowest performing schools in our county to one of the highest
That's your
in the
next
last.
book. I'm just telling you. That's your next book of what's the operating system for how
Yeah.
you did that? What's the heart of the operating system, huh? It's not
Yes.
the mind of the no, you created the right heart set that's probably created this irresistible culture where people are like, "I just kinda wanna work there. I
Yeah,
really
and
wanna
nobody
work there."
leaves.
Right.
Nobody leaves.
That's not accidental either. That is good old-fashioned leadership, and it's proven time and time and time again, and I'm just proud of everything that you're doing for the
Thank you.
profession, in the seat that you have the privilege to sit in. It's painful at times, but
It is.
it is a privilege, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. We're gonna move into the lightning round where we
Ooh,
we we take all things that I mean, you just got some superhuman qualities, Melanie, but I'm going to move your boots fully to the floor here. We're gonna see how human you really are. I wanna know,
okay.
first, out of the gates, is there a quote? Is there a quote that you live by?
There is, and I was just going to show you because I have it right here on my phone. It says success doesn't come from what we do occasionally. It comes from what we do consistently. So consistency is the key to success.
There it is. Boom. How about worst and best? Worst advice that you've ever received in leading people?
Being punitive for punitive's sake, right? Worst advice. The best advice is just to love on people.
She uses the four-letter word there, love. I love it. How about an unpopular opinion that you're just eager to defend?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I just think that if we're if we're in this work for the title,
Hmm.
we need to be out of the work. It's not about the title.
Leave in
And a
peace.
lot of people rise because the title gives them a sense of purpose, or I don't know.
I don't
But
want to
it's
work
not,
for that. I don't want to work for that person.
yeah, no, it's not about the title. It's about what can I use this position to, how can I utilize this position to affect change with not just my students, but with the entire state of California and beyond.
Anything you changed your mind about recently?
I changed my mind that I don't need to be here 24/7 to ensure that things get done around here. I changed my mind that, and this kind of went back to a couple of years ago, COVID. I had hit the wall,
Mm,
that this job will be here tomorrow. All
yeah.
the work will be here tomorrow. And so I changed my mind that I don't need to be an on call leader 24/7, that I can walk away at 4 o'clock knowing that I've done everything that I need to do, or 4:30 or 5 o'clock or whatever, whenever I walk away. But that the workday is over. That's it. And I
How
can
about
enjoy my day.
a career decision that you'd make 10 times over again?
This job, this job,
Mhm.
it's actually not a job. It's a calling for me.
There it is.
And I know it is for a lot of other people, but this, I'd make it 10 times over.
How about if you weren't running the system? Where would we find you? What would you be doing?
Probably out on the golf course or interior design. Look, I wanted to be an astronaut yesterday, and not yesterday, when I was younger. And you know what my
Not too
husband
late.
told me yesterday? My husband said I could never be an astronaut because he heard you had to be taller than 5'2", and I'm only 5'1".
We're not poking at that at all. You're as tall as you need to be to do, but you can't be an astronaut
I
well,
could have never been an astronaut. Even if I was good at math and science, I could have never been an astronaut because I'm not tall enough.
what if we're going to a planet that's not quite that far away? I mean, could you
Look, they didn't know what they were missing in the NASA space program. I'm just telling you
they
that right now.
still don't know, NASA. If you just give us a call, we're gonna introduce you. How about a word or a short phrase for Hope Elementary's future?
Impact,
There it is.
impact, impact students, impact staff, impact teachers, impact other leaders, impact anybody that I come across. Did I make an impact today? And if I didn't, I'm gonna make a bigger impact tomorrow. But impact.
You're wearing a jersey. Aztecs, Bulldogs. What are you wearing?
Both Aztecs and Bulldogs.
What? How? What?
San Diego State alumni 2000, Fresno State alumni 2009.
There it is. Close enough. Close enough. But yeah, okay. Interesting. I wish we had some more time to chop it up a little bit more. I think I'm not ever going to be cool, but when I hang out with cool people like you, there's just something that kind of sloughs off. And our listeners, I hope that you heard today just the passion, the heart of a leader that has learned a lot in their career, has experienced a ton, um, gone through some valleys, have definitely stuck the flag in some serious wins. So here's the lesson. I think the size of your district was never the real problem. You've got somebody that does not think small, working in a pretty small system. I think it's the nerve to say the system wasn't built for you out loud in the room. It's if you're leading somewhere just small and the scoreboard doesn't fit you, the question isn't whether the system is fair, right? Because you got scrappy person here that's taking on the system. It's what you're doing to do about that, really, anyways? How are you fighting for each and every student within your system? If they want to learn more about you, Melody, if they want to learn more about your system, and your book again, where
Oh,
would you
yeah.
direct them? All three areas.
edleadershiplab.com. So edleadershiplab.com is where you will find me. You'll find my book there. You'll find how to get a hold of me there. I just want to make an impact in the world for kids, right? Because at the end of the day, these kids are going to be the engineers designing buildings, the farmers, the people that protect us, the doctors that save our lives. Like, they're going to be all of the things. They're going to be designing the future cars and be impacting the future of education. And so I just want to ensure that what I'm doing every day gives back to the future, because my kids will have kids soon and their kids will have kids. And so we need to leave that sort of impact, there's the word, on the world.
And you've done that. You're not aspiring to do
I'm not
that.
done. We're doing it.
You are doing that, and you are one of the standards out there that continues. You are always becoming, and that's what we just love about you and the leadership and the system that you're leading.
Likewise.
Thank you for joining us on the show today, folks. Peace. Keep those dukes up like this amazing human right here. Take good care.